I'm trying to process that I'm not going to be heard in court, that I'm not going to have a shot at even getting a guilty verdict because of an actual technicality. The court system in Ontario failed, and it wasn't just because of COVID delaying cases. It failed because when they moved courthouses, they lost staff, they had poor planning, and there were a lot of cases that didn't get heard in time. But why don't I have a shot anyway? Oh, because cases have to be heard within 18 months. What about the fact that he fired at least one lawyer so that he had an excuse to delay the case further? By the way, if you're new here, this is about my ex-boyfriend who I was living with. His name is James Anthony Hutchinson. He assaulted me, and I've been waiting for 3 years to have my voice heard. And the first time that there was a scheduling of the trial that it would have gone off, that he couldn't do anything about it, it got bumped because the courthouse was overbooked, because they brought a bunch of courthouses together in one central location and didn't plan for what that would look like effectively. But it also got delayed because he fired, or maybe they fired him. He's had a few lawyers fire him, at least one for non-payment. How do I know? Because I was there and I saw it happen. But he, as a lawyer, knew that he could do this. They knew that they were dealing with prosecuting a lawyer. They knew that he could pull something. I also knew this. Like I said, if there's something he can do, he's going to find it. Sure enough, today, he hits them with a stack of paperwork. I don't know if they call it due process, this 18-month thing. This is in Canada, so some of the wording can be different. I call it bullshit. Not just for me, but for all the other cases out there. All the other victims and survivors who aren't going to get their day in court. I had already resolved that he may not get found guilty. I have a lot of evidence, but, stuff happens. And I had made peace with the fact that I would at least get heard. Even though I did think he'd be found guilty, but I still made peace with that. I wasn't tying myself to the outcome. And now all I'm going to get is a peace bond, where he admits that the reason for the peace bond is because of something he did and said. As far as I know, that's what it's going to look like. I won't know till tomorrow. I'm just gutted. And I'm tired. And I don't know how to process this right now. Why share it? Why make a video of it? Because I know this is the reality for a lot of victims of crime out there. Not just domestic violence, right? All sorts of crime where you don't get your day, where you don't get heard, and where a perpetrator gets away with it so that they can do it again. And I at least have some hope in this case, because he is being prosecuted for some other act, which I am assuming involves violence, because when he was arrested for that, it updated my restraining order and all the names were included, and I recognized some of them. And it tracks that there would be this situation of more violence. But hey, it's much more important that he gets heard within 18 months than it is people like me get protected from him. And to the Crown and to the detective and to the person from Victim Services, I know this is not on you. And I do want to say that they were really wonderful. There were actually two Crown attorneys. Not wonderful that I got switched out to another person like the day before. Not wonderful, also not their fault. But these are those things that happen within the system that are absolutely unacceptable. And I don't have the answers of how to fix it. But I do have the answer that something needs to be done, at least temporarily, until they're able to catch up with this backlog of cases that they so obviously have. There needs to be some sort of law put on the books that allows victims to be heard and doesn't take our voices away because of a technicality that in a lot of ways could not be predicted. For anybody out there who has been violated by James Anthony Hutchinson, please contact me. Let's come together and make sure that he doesn't hurt anybody else.